Appmon is absolutely surviving and thriving in the Digimon TCG, and Bandai has actually implemented the Digimon subspecies fairly well into the card game. So let's look at all the decks that can be built and talk about why Bandai has done such an amazing job incorporating Appmon into the card game. But first, a word from this video sponsor, Zen TCG. To celebrate Digimon's 28th anniversary on the 26th of June 2025, Zenon will have 100 plus new license exclusive Digimon merch in the store. From keychains to acrylic stands to minifigures to stickers and much more. Most of them are exclusive from the Digimon pop-up stores in Asia. Zenon TCG will be running limited time sales and bundles till the end of July. In addition to this, they are also having a giveaway for those who purchase more than $50 USD, including shipping. They will be entered into the Digimon Time Stranger giveaway. There are 8 sets to be given away for PS5, Xbox and Steam. So make sure you check out all of this exciting and exclusive stock that's coming out. I will provide links in the description, so make sure that you check them all out. Ad read over, now let's talk about Appmon in the TCG. So I've mentioned many times that Appmon is my absolute favourite series of the Digimon anime. I was kind of skeptical when they first announced it. I thought the concept sounded a little bit dumb. It sounded too different from the Digimon anime that we know and love, but I was very quickly proven wrong when the first few episodes just immediately pulled me in. From there, it just got better and better, at least in my opinion, and it became my favourite series of the Digimon anime. So of course, about a month into me playing the Digimon card game, it got announced that Appmon was finally being added into the TCG. And now we have Appmon in the card game. We actually have a few different decks that can be played. So first of course, the first deck that you can play for Appmon is of course the main character's deck, which is Haru and his buddy Appmon Gatchmon. So the main thing about the Appmon decks is that while yes they can be used with traditional quote normal unquote Digimon, you basically are better off running it in its own deck. However, there is one exception to this, and I'll go over that deck shortly. So in the Appmon card game variant, you link Digimon and get the inheritables from the link effect. So for example, we've got Gatchmon here. First of all, his main effect is when this Digimon gets linked. If you have one or fewer tamers, you may play a Haru from your hand without paying the cost, which is a pretty standard effect. In terms of what linking is, it's when you kind of plug in a card sideways into it rather than directly underneath, and you get the inheritable for that Appmon. The majority of Appmon can only be linked once. There are of course exceptions for the level 6 where it has link +1, so you can have 2 cards linked, so that means you get 2 cards inheritable effects. So unlike regular Digimon, there are no inherited effects by evolution, it's all just from app linking. So the link requirements to link a Navimon, for example, is that it costs 1 memory and it gets piercing and plus 2000 DP. So a lot of the cards are just kind of like that. It'll have a little effect like you'd see from traditional Digimon where it has an inheritable, but this is just sideways instead of directly below. Then, of course, if you have 2 compatible cards linked together, so Gatchmon and Navimon for example, you can then app fuse, which is kind of like DNA digivolving in the card game, and go to Dogatchmon for free. You can of course evolve up to Dogatchmon for 3 memory, just as a regular evolution, but of course you don't get any inheritables because Appmon, again, don't have inheritables from regular Digivolution. So, for example, Dogatchmon has the effect, the Acrylic effect of when linking, this Digimon may attack, and you get plus 3000 DP. So that's kind of the main thing of the deck, is that you evolve up through app linking and app fusing. Again, it's just kind of DNA Digivolution with a different name or a similar sort of effect. You also have cards that allow you to app link at certain times, like the app link card, which end of turn delay, you may link one card from your hand with one of your Digimon without paying the cost. Mixing this with our Haru Tamer is that when your Digimon gets linked by suspending this Tamer draw one, then one of your Digimon may app fuse into a Digimon card in hand. So if you have enough app links and Harus, you can kind of evolve very quickly to your level 6, and you get to also have any when linking effects when you do this. So you might be able to de-digivolve, you might be able to evolve super fast up, and also maybe have protection with the Charasmon, which has an effect that isn't new to Digimon by any means. It is the when this Digimon would leave, you can remove an app link card so it doesn't leave. So that's sort of something that we've had before when you trash a source to keep it on the field. This is kind of like the main Appmon deck, at least as of recording this. However, there are new decks coming out as well. We have the Astra one coming out in BT22. We have Eri confirmed with Dokomon in BT23, and then we have Yujin in EX10, and I'm assuming Ray and Huckmon at a future point. So another deck, and this is one I kind of alluded to earlier, this is an existing deck that is just improved by Appmon, and this is one of the reasons why I've kind of said, hey, Bandai are doing an amazing job with not just having Appmon as their own separate decks that work with other Appmon cards. There are also situations where Appmon can be incorporated into regular, normal Digimon decks, and the Three Muskets is one of those. So this is a deck I haven't really built or played yet. I've just been kind of bouncing ideas off my friends Connor and Spotty, who are Three Musket players. In fact, this list is just Connor's. It's kind of one that I want to play around with. The Three Muskets, which are, you know, Magna Kidmon, Bielstarmon, and Gundramon, didn't really appeal to me at all until, of course, they added some of my favorite Appmon, that being Scopemon and, of course, Stellamon, who is just a really cool looking Digimon slash Appmon. So this is a circumstance where Appmon, while being different, are also the same, and again, that is probably the best way that Bandai could have done it, because yes, they are Digimon, they are kind of a subspecies of Digimon, they are their own thing, but they're also the same. So it's a nice way of kind of balancing it, like, hey, are Appmon Digimon? Yes and no. And it's a great way of having it in the card game. So again, I'm not too familiar with this deck just yet. I do intend on building it and playing it, I'm just waiting on a few of the cards, but the main thing is we have two Appmon in it, we have Scopemon, and we have Stellamon, and again, it's one of my favourite Appmon, so I'm very happy that it's kind of in a Digimon deck on its own. Of course, you're not as focused on any of the Appmon features and functionalities for the deck, but you still have the option of app linking. Of course, if you digivolve a Digimon onto an Appmon, any linked cards are trashed, but it's still got the effects of, by placing one card with Appmon or Three Muskets, you're at the bottom of your Digimon's Digivolution card, gain one memory, so it kind of works with both Appmon decks and Three Muskets decks, but more or less better with the Three Muskets, which it's kind of amusing that I remember when Appmon was sort of still newish and Three Muskets were kind of being talked about, people are always like, hey, what about Scopemon and Shotmon and Stellamon being Three Muskets? And Bandai did it. And again, I'd love to see more ways that Bandai can put Appmon into existing evolution lines or connect them with Digimon a little bit more. A while ago I did a video about Appmon Digimon counterparts, so Miramon, for example, that could be used in a black hybrid deck if we get that card. We've got Sleepmon, which could evolve to Belfmon. We've got Reshamon that could evolve to Locomon. There's a lot of ways that Bandai can continue to do this. Lastly, the BT22 deck, which is Musimon. We just had Fakemon and Entomon and revealed for BT22 yesterday evening and night, so this is kind of like a work in progress deck because the set isn't exactly out yet, but again, same idea. This is just a pure Appmon deck. While in my Gatchmon deck I do have Omni X and Blitz Omni, this one so far is just kind of just Appmon cards only. I've got the Haru Mem Setter, I've still got the Applink option, but we've also got the unique Astra and Musimon cards as well. So super excited to play this as well. I love the Appmon deck, I think it's doing an amazing thing, and it's again kind of different from what you would expect, but also exactly what you'd expect. And that's something that I really appreciate, and I think again Bandai's done a great job. Again, I won't go over these decks too much. I will probably do more involved deck profiles in the future, but this is mainly just to talk about how much of a great job I feel that Bandai is doing putting Appmon into the TCG. So in terms of future ways I think that Bandai could continue for this, other than the main Apply drivers, so again Ray, Eri, and Eugen are ones we're still waiting on, but two of those have been confirmed for future sets, and it would make sense that we also get a Ray one. There are other ways we can do this. Again, I mentioned the Appmon that look like existing Digimon kind of thing, but rewatching Appmon has me thinking about the 7-code Digimon and how they could be possibly used in a deck, and I'm feeling like it could be, I guess, maybe like a Royal Knights or 7 Great Demon Lord deck, where maybe the 7-code pad is the raising area or the egg, and you kind of stack the 7-code Mon and make Dantemon. That'd be really cool. Again, that's just my idea, but I feel like that if they wanted to do something unique and fun with the 7-code Digimon, you could have one of those decks where the egg is kind of like not quite an egg, like the 7 Great Demon Lords has it as the Demon Gate. So it's been sort of done before, but that's a way where you can make something unique from one of the Appmon decks, other than just make them more or less the same-ish deck for each thing. There's a few other ways that I can see Appmon being incorporated more. Hopefully that Bandai continue to release Appmon that work in other decks, like Three Muskets deck, and I'm hoping that they don't just kind of abandon releasing Appmon once we've got the main characters, but who knows. But again, I'm super hopeful because of how well I believe Bandai has put Appmon into the TCG. So those are my thoughts on Appmon in the TCG. It's fantastic to see. Again, they're doing a great job. They're also including them in Digimon Liberator, which is great, and it kind of makes me think about how before this, for like from when Appmon first started in 2016 to just before they were added to the TCG, a lot of people were still saying that Appmon is not Digimon at all and it's a spin-off, and I've always said it's as much as a spin-off as Tamers was to Digimon Adventure. It's as much as a spin-off was as Digimon Frontier was to Tamers. They've always done something different with the majority of Digimon seasons to the previous ones, unless they're a direct sequel like in the case of 02 or Young Hunters. So I've never really got the argument that no, they're not Digimon, it's a spin-off, because every series of Digimon could potentially be considered a spin-off in the same way. Yes, they have different ideas, but so does Cross Wars. Cross Wars had very different evolution from what we'd seen. It didn't have the standard evolution in the first series, but again, those are my thoughts that I've kind of gone over in various videos about my love of Appmon. If you haven't watched Appmon, I still recommend watching it. It's on Crunchyroll, so it's very accessible. And yeah, those are basically my thoughts. Bandai's doing an amazing job putting Appmon into the TCG. I hope they continue to go up from here as well. So again, thank you so much to Zen and TCG for sponsoring this video. If you have any comments, questions, etc., you know where to put them in the comment section below. Like this video for Bandai doing an amazing job with Appmon. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you next video. Bye!